Perth's rental shortage. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because I thought we'd have a look at this article just yesterday, or well actually just today, from Domain discussing the rental shortage in Perth. And then we'd have a bit of a look at just some of the rental properties on offer right now in Perth. Now I know we've got viewers in WA. Share in the comments, let us know if this is a legitimate thing that you're seeing happening over there, or if you think it's a bit of a spin. And why would it be going on? Because I'm hearing mixed things from people about just some of the deals that they're getting for commercial property. 30% of their pre-pandemic rent. So it seems to be kind of, two-speed economy, doesn't it? The commercial sector is getting hit, while residential apparently is having shortages. It really is an interesting clown world we're living in. But before we get through to that, I'm going to put a plug for my second channel, or one of my other channels, HeiseSaysUS. And I plan to do a live stream and discussion about the presidential debate that is happening at 11 a.m. today. So I'll have that all set up. We'll probably start a few minutes early. So if you feel like joining in on a live stream in the middle of a work day, come and have a look. I mean, this is a historic debate. It's a historic debate between, Sleepy Joe and the Trumpinator. Regardless of what you think, it's going to be entertaining. It has to be. Come on. If only Joe Rogan was moderating, that would just take it on another level. Apparently Trump's aides are insisting on an ear check for Biden. And, Trump was asking for drug tests before the debate. So, American politics, certainly entertaining. Join me there for the live stream. If you haven't had a look at the channel, I try and create content there every night for focusing on American news. The latest video was just looking at the huge decline in the number of oil rigs in the States. And what's concerning is, well, with the current price of oil, how many countries are actually producing at a loss. So let's jump here and have a look at this Domain article. So, why Perth's rental market is heading towards crisis territory. Quick, be afraid. Go, get that rental now. Is this just another piece of FOMO? Perth's rental market is creeping towards crisis territory due to a lack of stock, demand pressure, and the extension of Western Australia's eviction moratorium, discouraging property investors, local agents say. Now, here's the thing. Why would you risk putting your property on the market now if, due to the moratorium, you get a dodgy person in there and you can't get rid of them? You can't get rid of them. We've all seen the current affairs. We've all seen the 60 Minutes about people who just couldn't get bad tenants out. You've heard all the we all like watching those shows. there's a UK show, can't afford it, or we're taking it away, can't pay, we take it away. And some of them, they're just evicting people, and it's horrific. It really is. Some of these tenants, you've got ones who are just down on their luck, but you've got others who are just vindictive people. In stark contrast to the rental markets of Sydney and Melbourne, where there is a surplus of vacant properties seeking tenants, open homes in Perth are attracting large crowds. Multiple applications, and desperate tenants are offering above the asking weekly rent in a bid to secure a place to live. LJ Hooker, State Director Andrew Freeby, said he believed the hot demand was due to WA residents who were allowed to return home. Also, large mining businesses have been incentivizing fly-in, fly-out workers to relocate to WA from the eastern states, he said. Secondly, given the property market has been pretty consistent for the past 6 or so years, a lot of investors who bought at the peak of the sales market haven't been able to sell for many years. So with the sales market also picking up, investors have been opting to sell. So people getting out of Perth, getting out of Dodge just when, well, if we're going to have an iron ore-led recovery of or an iron ore surge in demand from China due to their stimulus spending, Western Australia is going to reap significant benefits from that. So is now the best time to sell. Maybe people just want to get out of the market, because if we have a look at Perth, they've been hammered, guys. Their property prices have been hammered. They're the yellow lines in this graph. So you'd hate to buy in the peak. Almost as bad as buying a $700,000 three-bedroom unit on the other side of the country in Darwin. That's just showing you how much this property obsession has permeated Australia's entire culture. It's just, I suspect it's one of the first things when you come over to Australia, or your parents migrate over to Australia, it's just property, house. It's part of our culture here, guys. I suspect it's different to other parts in the world. Thirdly, with the freeze on rents, hang on, the kids are screaming, so I'm going to turn on audio background removal. Thirdly, with the freeze on rents, tenants have been choosing to stay in the same property, and landlords that have the option when a tenant moves out are increasing rents to meet demand of the market. So rents are going up in Perth. Real Estate Institute of WA President Damien Collins said the number of properties advertised for rent had dropped by 100 each week, and stock levels were currently below 3,000 for the first time in some time. The vacancy rates have fallen from 2% to 1.3% and was likely to continue to drop, he said. Right now, it's gone from a reasonable shortage that's turned very quickly into a severe rental shortage, and it's not far away from a rental crisis, he said. We're going to run out of properties next year. I can't see where they are going to come from. There are some new builds with the grants, but a lot of them are going to get tenants, but probably not until March, April, or May next year. It's not going to be enough in the established areas. Mr. Collins said the state government's decision to extend the emergency period tenancy legislation for all residential properties and rent increase moratorium made no economic sense. Well, I don't think your government's very good in WA there with regards to making economic sense, but that's for another video. I feel sorry for the Western Australians. They pay so much GST and so much money gets sucked out of WA for the other states. I can understand why there's a secessionist movement over in WA. Western Australia is a long distance away from the East Coast. Australia's a big country, guys. I haven't even done Perth. Haven't even been to Sydney, been to Melbourne, been to Brisbane, or a whole lot of Queensland places. Even been to Hobart and Lonnie. Perth is and Canberra. I drove through Canberra. I didn't stay. But Perth is the only place I haven't visited. I need to make an effort. But what was that? There was a movie I watched about some backpackers going across the desert, and so yeah, I'm kind of got to avoid that. So it appears that the government has used the pandemic as an opportunity to introduce rent control and meddle in the free market. Funny that. We already have a shortage of rent stock, and reducing supply further by dissuading landlords will ultimately mean tenants will find it even harder to get a property, he said. In addition to the majority of rental properties being snapped up in a matter of days, applicants were coming through prior to tenants viewing homes, and many were regularly offering $50 to $100 per week over the asking rent, RealMax Coastal Managing Director Sean Hughes said. We are seeing distressed potential tenants desperately seeking properties outside of their usual scope, he said. On average, we're seeing 50-plus groups through each open home, and our biggest recent open home attracted 97 groups. Tenants seem to be wanting long-term leases to secure homes for their families. So is this where miners, because of all of the border lockdowns, all of the travel restrictions, people who are working maybe in the remote mines in WA are thinking, okay, time to bring the family over to WA and let's settle here, rather than staying in Queensland in this, which I can see happening. So this week alone, we've leased 3 homes off-market to families that are desperate to find somewhere to live. He said less than 1% of his company's rentals were affected by tenants who could not pay their rent. There seems to be limited investors in the sales marketplace at the moment, and this is likely in part due to the residential tenancy laws and eviction bans. He said this is the problem when the government intervenes. At least the Western Australians don't have that potato board anymore, guys. It could always be worse. Civil servants whose entire job is to regulate the potato industry. I can't believe it. It is just utterly insane. With the extension of the eviction ban, it's likely that investors will remain cautious in the marketplace, which will compound the supply issues that we are seeing in rental properties. A key issue is that the residential tenancies COVID-19 Response Act 2020 applies to all tenancies regardless of if the tenant is financially impacted by the pandemic or not. Rob Druitt, First National Real Estate Druitt, and Shed Principal and Auctioneer, said extending WA's eviction moratorium was actually going to make it more difficult. First of all, you're going to be restricting development because developers won't be able to get tenants out when leases expire to get the development underway, he said. It's going to dissuade or not encourage people to invest in property as they're concerned about getting a tenant in and not being able to get them out if things go wrong. It seems like common sense. Isn't Western Australia like kicking goals? Their economy is still going fine. The pandemic has had no consequence on them, and yet they've still got all these things in place. Could it be because you've got a Labor government that just likes to look at any opportunity to exert control and influence over your private lives? Maybe I'm just jumping to conclusions there. Maybe. So let's jump over here. Let's jump over here and have a look at some of the rental properties. So I've just done a search for Perth CBD, and we can see at what the rental properties are. So let's have a look here. We'll go a bit inland, so it's going to be, where are we going to look here? We'll look down here at Kalamunda. And you guys tell me if these are good suburbs or not, okay? So we've got here $430 a week, a little bricky 4-bed, 1-bath. Nothing particularly special, nothing too bad. Okay, here we have out here at Forestfield, $500 per week for a 4-bed, 2-bath, 2-car. Another one, $340 at Forestfield, 3-bed, 1-bath, 2-car. Nice kitchen, nice little thing. Let's have a look here. East Cannington, what do we have here? $320. A 3-bed, 1-bath, 2-car. Little one, looks like a little townhouse. Yeah, in a complex. What else? Let's have a look. Where else can we go? Let's go right here, on the posh part. South Fremantle, here, near the beach. What are we looking? You've got $780 per week. There you go, in a complex. So there's stuff available. $340 for a 1-bed, 1-bath, 1-car. So I think, let's see, where else can we go? Let's go, how far are we out here? We're not too far. I guess you could do the commute. What do we have there? $275 in Parkerville. 1-bed, 1-bath. We'll go a bit further north. Let's have a look out here. At the Vines, $370. 3-bed, 2-bath. Ellenbrook, $400 per week. 3-bed, 2-bath. So you've got there's still stuff available around here. It's not completely abandoned. I mean, 1,000 plus, 1,000 plus, 1,000 plus. Well, here we go. Mandurah, and we all know the issues in that area, particularly if you're watching a lot of DFA stuff. $340 per week. $340, $350. $260 for a 2-bed, 1-bath. $170. Is that in a complex? $175. Little beach shack there. What else do we have? Ooh, look, there's a lot for rent out here, guys. $260. It's been leased. Good. $280. $260. A lot of sub 300s. $370. $340. We looked at him. Photos coming soon. $340. $300. There you go. I mean, could you do the commute from down here, guys, or is it too far? It probably is too far. Yeah, it probably is too far if you're working in the city. That's more like a getaway. What about Rockingham? You could probably do the commute from there, couldn't you? But then traffic would be a nightmare. I mean, that's the problem. There you go. Lease pending on the beach, $400. So there's definitely stuff available in Perth, but it does feel a little expensive for some of them. Prices are going up. What do you reckon, guys? Do you think there's the argument that where they're heading towards a rental crisis is accurate, or is it just more FOMO? As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. And remember, I'm going to be hosting a live stream on my HeiseSaysUS channel later today. Check that out. If you're a fan and want to support the content I created, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy merch from HeiseSays. You can use PayPal, or you can support us via Call Pass. Take care, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you all next time.